This is the book. I'm going to tell you about a review made by Annette Jackson. She is a book author from United Kingdom. She has written, quote, the book entitled How Can India Become a Superpower by 2047? A Vision is an impassioned and well-researched account of India's rich and turbulent history and culture, which, like a multifaceted diamond caught in the sunlight, throws light in its 14 chapters on India's glorious past and how foreign merchants exploited its rich natural resources and India's indigenous people. Although there are choices of an inspiring self-help book on the opening chapter of this, to me, it is to a large extent a combination of history book and a prescription for self-healing of a beautiful country, one which has been badly wounded economically, agriculturally, politically, and perhaps culturally to some degree over many centuries by exploitation of its natural richness and peoples, many generations of whom were scared in the past by warlords, foreigner invaders, different kings, conquerors, emperors, such as the Persians, Greeks, Shakas, and Hunas. To quote Dr. Mandal, unfortunately, India's wealth attracted foreign rulers like bees to a honeycomb. Many invaders invaded India before the Christian era. From the ashes of the past, India has emerged like a phoenix, but not without a struggle, Dr. Mandal states eloquently in chapter 4 of this book. Students of Indian politics and philosophy, and anyone who is fascinated by Gandhi's influence on Indian politics, how sovereign India emerged after independence, and the role and the past role of the first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, will also find this book fascinating reading. Among the many subjects featured in the epic journey through India's history are insights into some of the great teachings of India's great philosophers and glimpses of certain aspects of perhaps one of the greatest books ever produced, the Upanishad, by a son of India, sage Setashara. Other objects covered by these multifaceted gem of a book are politics, religion, and science and biodiversity and climate change from the perspective of a scholar and the author who provides a prescription for India's self-healing and growth in its book's final chapters. To bring the reader down to earth, Dr. Mandal points out that obstacles stands in the way of India achieving a $25 trillion economy by 2047. The most obvious one being the absence of a good and value-based education system, short government tenure, lack of encouragement of students and scholars, people's belief in fate, etc., and the effects of the blame culture. Said that Dr. Mandal's blueprint for India's economic and spiritual growth is a fine one, born of his desire to live in a country that promotes world peace, better affordable education for all in India, and positive self-development for the country, society as a whole, and all individuals, including women, for whom access to education and many types of employment is still not easy due to gender discrimination. In the final chapter, some constraints and recommendations, Dr. Mandal provides innovative ideas that could stimulate India's economy into becoming a global superpower by 2047 if they were put into force by government policymakers, political movers and shakers, For example, one policy could spring from the lessons learned from the good example set by Israel, a country that invests heavily in research and development, education, health, defense, and skilled manpower development. Another policy could spring from lessons learned from effective ways in which China became a global manufacturing superpower, and how a country, its investment in technology, health, defense, and manufacturing industries stimulated growth in China's flourishing economy even during times of world recession. Investment in artificial intelligence, research and development, and high tech know how could help stimulate India's sustainable growth technologically and economically. Dr. Mondal suggests balancing the development of the manufacturing base and services industries is hugely important for holistic development of India. He concludes in his vision for India's future development strategy. Other enterprising ideas include a prescription for better education of India's youths, encouragement by providing wider, affordable, and access to skills training and development for them, more rural courts in rural India, better local government, climate challenge control, population regulation, and green growth strategy. I highly recommend this book, and this is a very interesting book, and give it a 5-star rating. Unquote. Annette Jackson, book author, United Kingdom.